Lena found that her days had taken on a new, vibrant color, a shade she hadn't known existed until Max entered her life. Every morning the first thought that graced her mind was of him, a gentle and welcome intrusion that brought an immediate smile to her face. It was a simple, pure happiness, the kind that warms you from the inside out, like sipping hot cocoa on a chilly winter evening. This feeling was a constant companion, a soft hum of joy that played in the background of her daily routines. She would be arranging flowers at the small shop where she worked, and the memory of his laugh would bubble up, making her own lips curve upwards in response. It was a beautiful, almost magical sensation that she cherished with all her heart. The excitement was like a current of electricity running just beneath her skin, a quiet but persistent thrum of anticipation. Whenever her phone would light up with a message, her heart would perform a little leap, a hopeful flutter in her chest, wishing it was him. Often it was. His name on the screen was enough to make the world around her fade into a soft, pleasant blur. She would find herself daydreaming at the oddest moments, replaying their last conversation or imagining their next one. This constant state of happy expectation was new to her, a delightful whirlwind of emotions that she willingly let herself be swept away by, feeling more alive and present than ever before. This newfound joy wasn't loud or boisterous, it was a quiet, steady glow that illuminated every corner of her world. It was in the way she noticed the brilliant blue of the sky on her walk to work, or the sweet melody of a bird singing outside her window. Max had somehow tuned her into a frequency of happiness she hadn't been able to find on her own. The thought of him was a safe harbor, a place her mind could wander to and find immediate comfort and peace. It was a profound sense of rightness, a feeling that this person, this wonderful man, was someone incredibly special, someone who was changing the very landscape of her soul for the better. This feeling of being in love was both thrilling and deeply calming. It was a paradox she couldn't quite explain but felt with every fiber of her being. The world seemed to move a little slower, allowing her to savor each precious moment, especially those connected to him. She would recall the gentle way he looked at her, his eyes full of warmth and a genuine interest that made her feel seen and valued. Lena knew, with a certainty that settled deep in her bones, that this wasn't just a fleeting crush. It was the beginning of something significant, a love story that was just starting to unfold its beautiful, promising pages right before her very eyes. Their story began on a warm summer evening, the air thick with the scent of blooming jasmine and the sound of distant laughter. Lena had been invited to a small get-together at a mutual friend's house, a casual barbecue in the backyard. She almost didn't go, feeling tired from a long week, but something nudged her out the door, and there he was. Max was standing near the grill, talking with a few people, and the first thing Lena noticed was his smile. It wasn't just a polite gesture, it was a genuine, radiant expression that seemed to light up his entire face and crinkle the corners of his kind eyes. It was a smile that reached out and welcomed you in, instantly putting her at ease. They were introduced by their friend, and as Max turned his attention to her, Lena felt a spark, a connection that was immediate and undeniable. He had a calm and gentle demeanor that was incredibly charming. He listened, truly listened, when she spoke, his gaze never wavering. He asked her about her day, about her dreams, about the little things that made her happy. There was no pretense about him, no effort to impress, just an authentic and open warmth that drew her in. She found herself talking more than she usually did with strangers, feeling a sense of comfort and familiarity, as if they had known each other for years instead of just a few minutes. What struck Lena most about Max that first night was his quiet confidence and his passion for the simple joys of life. He spoke about his love for music, the way a certain chord could convey more emotion than words ever could. He talked about his weekend hikes in the nearby hills, describing the beauty of the sunrise from a mountain peak. He wasn't boasting, he was simply sharing the pieces of his world with an infectious enthusiasm. Lena found herself captivated, not just by his handsome features or the soothing timbre of his voice, but by the beautiful soul that was so clearly visible in everything he said and did. As the evening drew to a close and people began to leave, Max walked her to her car. The conversation flowed as easily as it had all night, a seamless continuation of the connection they had forged. He didn't ask for her number in a flashy or forward way. Instead, he simply said he'd love to continue their conversation sometime, perhaps over coffee. When Lena agreed, his smile returned, even brighter this time under the soft glow of the porch light. Driving home, Lena couldn't stop replaying the evening in her mind. She knew, with a quiet certainty that filled her heart with hope, that she had just met someone who was going to be very important in her life. Their relationship blossomed naturally, growing stronger with each passing day, nurtured by shared time and heartfelt conversations. Their dates were often simple things, long walks in the park, exploring dusty old bookstores, or cooking dinner together in Lena's small kitchen. It was during these quiet, unassuming moments that their bond deepened. They talked for hours, sharing stories from their childhoods, their triumphs, and their fears. Lena told Max about her dream of one day opening her own floral design studio, a place filled with beauty and creativity. He didn't just listen, he encouraged her, asking questions and helping her brainstorm ideas, making her dream feel more attainable than ever before. Max, in turn, shared his own aspirations with her. He dreamed of recording an album of his own music, songs that he had been writing for years. He was often hesitant to play them for others, but with Lena, it felt different. He trusted her. Lena would sit for hours, completely mesmerized as he played his guitar, his fingers dancing across the frets. She loved the raw emotion in his music and the passion in his voice. She became his biggest supporter, his most dedicated audience, always telling him how talented he was and urging him to pursue his passion. Their mutual support became the bedrock of their relationship, a safe space where both felt seen and cherished. There were so many small, perfect moments that Lena tucked away in her heart like precious jewels. She loved the way Max would unconsciously hum a little tune when he was concentrating on something, or the way his eyes would light up when he talked about a book he had just finished. She cherished the memory of a rainy afternoon they spent building a fort out of blankets in the living room, just like kids, laughing until their sides hurt. These weren't grand, dramatic gestures, but they were the threads that wove the rich and beautiful tapestry of their love, each one a testament to their growing intimacy and deep affection for one another. Max admired Lena's strength and her unwavering kindness. He saw the way she treated everyone with respect and compassion, from the delivery person to the elderly woman who lived next door. He loved her resilience, the quiet determination with which she faced life's challenges. He would often tell her that her heart was the most beautiful thing about her, a sentiment that made Lena feel loved for exactly who she was. Their love was a beautiful exchange of admiration and support, a partnership where they celebrated each other's strengths and helped each other grow into the best versions of themselves, together. As the seasons changed, from the vibrant warmth of summer to the crisp golden hues of autumn, Lena's love for Max only deepened, settling into a calm, unwavering certainty. It was a love that felt both exciting and profoundly peaceful, like coming home after a long journey. The initial thrill of their meeting had matured into a deep, abiding connection that she knew was built to last. It was in the easy silence they could share, comfortable and content just being in each other's presence. It was in the way they could finish each other's sentences, their minds and hearts so perfectly in sync. Lena had never known a love like this, so pure and so true. She found herself marveling at how perfectly they complemented one another. Where she was sometimes prone to worry, Max was a steady, calming presence, his optimism a gentle anchor in any storm. Where he could be lost in his creative world, she would gently bring him back to earth, her practicality and organization helping to turn his dreams into realities. They were two distinct individuals, yet together, they created a harmonious whole. Max's music seemed to give voice to the emotions in Lena's heart, and her laughter was the sweetest melody he had ever heard. Their love was a partnership in the truest sense of the word. Lena often thought about the incredible fortune of finding him. In a world of billions of people, their paths had crossed on that one ordinary summer evening, leading to this extraordinary love. She was endlessly grateful for every moment, for his gentle touch, for his unwavering belief in her, and for the way he made her feel completely and utterly cherished. He was more than her partner. He was her best friend, her confidant, and her greatest champion. The thought of a future with him by her side filled her not with uncertainty, but with a profound sense of peace and joyful anticipation for all the adventures that lay ahead. One evening, as they sat on a bench watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and pink, Lena looked at Max and felt an overwhelming wave of love wash over her. In his eyes, she saw her future, her home, her forever. She realized with a clarity that was as brilliant as the setting sun that she had found her soulmate. This love they shared was a rare and precious gift, a simple yet powerful force that made the world a better, brighter place. It was a love story for the ages, their own special epic, and Lena knew with every beat of her grateful heart that its most beautiful chapters were still yet to be written.